Hi guys, I meant to show you the entire process, but I just got to chopping and, well, I was done before I remembered that I wanted to show you. It's very simple, everybody can do this. I am about to juice a bunch of apples to make vinegar. Now there are a lot of videos on YouTube on how to make vinegar, but not a lot of them show the entire process, and there's a lot of mystery. I don't think there should be, but before you've actually done it, it does kind of make you sit there and scratch your head a bit. All I've done, and this is probably not 100% necessary, I've washed my apples, made sure there's no stickers, all that stuff. And in the fall, we're going to be getting apples from an orchard, but I really didn't want to go to all that trouble of traveling to an orchard and mess up my vinegar. So we bought a couple of bags from our local grocery store so that we could go ahead and have a good idea of what we're doing before fall gets here. And my juicer does not like apple seeds, so I've just taken out just the apple seeds, and you can see it's just the absolute barest bit that you want to take out. And let's see, bruises are perfectly fine. I actually even banged them up a little bit because that sort of helps the process along. We started one a couple of weeks ago, which is doing great. And I'll show you that a little bit closer to the end of the video. Cover this up because the fruit flies, we have created a bit of a fruit fly problem. And I'm gonna juice those up, and I'll bring you guys back. I am back here to make our vinegar. I juiced all of my apples, and this is, let's see, a little over 8 cups. I am not going to use all of that. Let me get this. That is our already started vinegar out of the way, and make sure you guys can see. Awesome. Alright, so I have washed this in soapy water, and then I just stuck it in my canner. This is a ½ gallon, so it's impossible to get the top. So I just laid it over on its side and let that simmer just like you would for canning something, anything. And I'm going to use my canning funnel to try and help keep my room clean. But I'm just going to, I know you probably can't see the markings on the side, I'm probably going to put about 5 or 6 cups. Stir it first, because it's got a little bit of froth on top. It seems like such a much more difficult process than it actually is. I did not know anything to set you on time. Okay. There we go. Now this leftover juice will certainly not go to waste. I am busy making jams and jellies right now, so I'm sure that that can certainly go in there. Now on the previous batch that we started a couple of weeks ago, I did not use Bragg's because I was lazy and I didn't want to go to Food Lion. All I had been to was Walmart, and Walmart, let me get it for you, has started carrying pints with the mother, and I think it works pretty good. it certainly has gotten things started with our first attempt at making vinegar. But just to kill my curiosity, I am going to use Bragg's today, and we're going to see which one works better. I think that this one will probably work better. It's non-GMO, which I like much better, and it's organic. So I kind of feel like even if it doesn't work any faster, you're better off using Bragg's just because of those two things. Because non-GMO is always a good thing. Alright, now I've seen a couple of recipes where they tell you that there's a certain amount that you need to add. I don't really think that that actually matters. I think it just determines how quick everything gets started. And in the previous batch, we probably did, I don't know, 3 or 4 tablespoons. We didn't measure, we just kind of poured. That's what I'm going to do now. Ooh, I forgot to shake it. You want to make sure that, because there's sediments and stuff, and that's where the mother is, so it's down on the bottom. So just shake it up a little bit, and there you go. That is how you start your vinegar. A lot simpler than you thought it would be, I imagine. Take my canning funnel out. Now, what I've got here is just, let's see, it's very cheap cheesecloth. I got it from Walmart, and theirs is not the best quality, so if you have a better quality, you probably won't have to use as many layers. I probably got about 8 layers there because it is, I don't know if you can see that one single layer right there, but that's not going to keep anything out. And I want to make sure that no creepy crawlies get into my vinegar because I want to get it myself. And then what we do is we just take our cheesecloth and put our ring on there. Now this is an old ring, so it's not looking the best anymore. It's not something I'm willing to can with. So it has been relegated to the use of making our vinegar. And now that I've shown you how to start it, I'm going to show you our original, affectionately known around our house as Lawrence, because he looks kind of like Lawrence of Arabia. Anybody young enough not to have seen that movie probably won't get it, but it's a very old movie. All right, now this has not been stirred today, so I'm going to show you. Pardon my shadow. This is 2 weeks old, and this is less bubbles. No, it's actually pretty even, so this is probably a little bit more bubbles than yesterday. So I don't know how much longer we have to go. It doesn't smell like vinegar yet, but it smells like very good apple wine. So I think we're headed in the right direction. All right, and all we're gonna do is we leave Lawrence sitting out on our counter, and I have an alarm set on my phone every day for 9 o'clock in the morning. And that is when Lawrence gets his stir. And you just make sure you stir him up really good, because there's going to be sediment down in the bottom. And I am not putting this spoon back in my fresh apple juice. But there we go. We put Lawrence's little cap back on. And you're done for the day. Now, I'll probably post an update on this a little bit later, but I just wanted to go ahead and get one on actually how to start it and what it looks like after 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks. It's starting to look a little bit funky up here at the top. There is no mold whatsoever. If there is any mold, then you're doing something wrong. You're not stirring it enough. We haven't had any problems with anything so far. No mold at all, and he only gets stirred once a day. So that is our new pet Lawrence. We'll bring you back when we have something else to tell you. Before I go, is this has kind of given us a little bit of a fruit fly problem, and you might wind up with the same problem. There is a pretty easy way to, at the very least, keep these, keep this from becoming a very large issue, and that is just to take a canning jar or an old pickle jar or whatever you have laying around. This was just a used lid, and I'll take it off just so you can see what we've done. And it looks really gross because it's not its first use. It will start to rust after a while and you have to replace the lid. But we have just taken, I think what we did this time, all we could find was a flathead screwdriver, and we just, actually this was a knife. We just used a really good sharp knife and poked some holes in there. You don't want to make them too big. You want to make them small enough that fruit flies can get in, but they can't get out. And then all you're going to do is take some apple cider vinegar. And I have found that using the kind with the mother seems to attract them better. So if you have some of that laying around, it's worth it if you've got a fruit fly problem to go ahead and use the good stuff. But then you just put, you know, a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there, and you just set it wherever you have your problem or anything like that. Let's see, I've been putting mine over there by Lawrence because that's where they all seem to go. But I figured that if you're going to start some apple cider vinegar, that you might need to know that. So, hope that helps.